Hi, this is David Scott, and we're going to talk about promotion today. So first of all, what is promotion? It's different than conversion. Conversion is being converted from part-time to full-time. Promotion is going up through the ranks. So at Berklee, we have 4 ranks for part-time and 4 ranks for full-time faculty: instructor, assistant professor, associate professor, and professor. And you can move upward through these ranks. Among the part-time population, we have 114 professors, 151 associates, 224 assistants, and 52 instructors. Full-timers, we've got 184 professors, 119 associates, 43 assistants, and no instructors. So what's the point? I have some friends who have been eligible for promotion for several years and still have not gotten around to it. So why do it? Well, of course, it looks good on your business card. You can get a write-up in your local newspaper if you want. Definitely will impress your friends. But the most important thing, of course, is getting a raise. If you look at Article 9 in the contract, no part-time or full-time faculty member can ask for a raise more than once in a 3-year period except upon being promoted. So the raises that you get are also in the contract, Article 35. If you're a part-timer going from instructor to assistant, it's a $4 an hour bump. Assistant to associate, $4.50. Associate to professor is a $5 an hour bump. For full-time faculty, if you go from instructor to assistant professor, you get a $4,000 salary raise for the annual salary. Assistant to associate, $4,500. Associate to professor is $5,000 a year. So one question is, what if this promotion bump does not bring me up to the new rank minimum? Well, that's in the contract too. If it doesn't, your salary will be increased, or your wage will be increased to the minimum for the rank. And here are those rank minimums, in case you've forgotten. Also in the contract, Article 35. So, if you want to ask for more than the increase stipulated in the contract, you can do it. That's in Article 35 too. You can submit a written request for a wage increase greater than that amount. The way you do that is when you're promoted and you get the letter saying you've been promoted, you have 15 days to put it in writing to the provost or the vice president of academic affairs. That's Larry Simpson. 15 days, and that's Article 9. Now, if you ask for this and you don't get it, it's also in the contract that this is at the discretion of the college. So that means it's not grievable or arbitratable. That doesn't mean you shouldn't ask. Now, if they won't even meet with you to discuss it, you do have the right to grieve and arbitrate that. Hopefully this has convinced you to apply for promotion at the first available opportunity. So the next question is, when is that? Well, first let's talk about part-timers. A part-time faculty member may apply for promotion to the next rank when they've completed this number of semesters in rank. 12 for instructor, 12 for assistant, 16 for associate. And note that I said completed that number of semesters. That'll become clearer as I move on. That's Article 20 in the contract. For full-timers, if you're an instructor, which we don't have any at the moment, you must apply for promotion in your 6th academic year, which means completing 5 academic years. Assistants may apply in the 6th academic year in rank. Associates may apply for promotion in the 8th academic year in rank. Now notice this is a different way of calculating than for part-timers. Part-timers are calculated for semesters completed. Full-timers are calculated as what academic year you're in. So this comes into play when you talk about teaching in the summer semester, because you might want to know if teaching summer semesters gets you to eligibility quicker. Well, in the case of part-timers, yes, it does, because part-time promotions are calculated by semesters completed. Full-time promotions are calculated by academic year. So if you're a part-timer, you can get to your eligibility for promotion quicker if you teach the summer semester. For full-timers, it doesn't matter. Now, if you are a Berklee faculty member by way of BOCO, there's a different schedule for you. According to the contract, Articles 19 and 20, your hire date is September 1st, 2016. So you can calculate your time requirement from that date. Now, if you want to apply for a promotion before you have achieved the time and rank, there is an option for that. In the contract, it says, under special circumstances, the employer may permit a faculty member to apply for promotion in advance of the schedules. So, the thing to remember about this, though, is the drawback is if you're denied a promotion, then you can't apply for a promotion for another 3 years. So weigh that and really think about, do you have special or extraordinary circumstances before deciding to apply early? So now, how do you apply for a promotion? In the contract, it says that each faculty member must meet the requirements of the rank to which you're applying. So what that means is you need to make the case that you are already acting in the capacity of the rank to which you're applying. How do you do this? Well, with timely preparation and submission of a promotion dossier. What's in the promotion dossier? Well, here we go to a different document. This is the Faculty Promotion Process and Guidelines put out by Faculty Development. We have links to this on the union website. And the promotion dossier is to describe and discuss all of your activities and accomplishments that you've done while you've been in your current rank, and also how you meet the criteria for the rank you're applying to. So what's in this promotion dossier? First of all, a cover letter. 1 page, maybe 2 at the most. You can keep it short and sweet like this. Or you can get a little more involved and make your case more in the cover letter. Here's another cover letter. This one sort of summarizes everything that's in the dossier, but very briefly, only 1 page. After that comes the promotion application form. Again, this is available on the union website. The promotion application form will have a lot of signatures on it by the time you're done. The only part that you have to worry about is this top part. You fill out your name, rank, department, hire date, and the date that you were appointed to your current rank. And then there's a checklist of all the things you need to have in the application. Then you're also going to need a completed evaluation form from your chair. And this is going to depend on whether you're in a reappointment year or not. If you're in a reappointment year, you need the self-evaluation for reappointment form filled out with your chair. If you're not in a reappointment year, you'll need the performance review form. And that will go into this dossier as well. The next section is where you list your post-secondary education and professional training. And this can be a fairly simple list of where you've been to school if you have attained the degrees required for the rank you're applying for. Now, if the degree has not been met, then you need to document your equivalent professional experience. And you can do that in a document such as this. A list of the equivalent training and experience that you have in lieu of the graduate degree. The next section is about teaching, advising, and related duties. This is a 5-pager. And for this, you're going to want to refer to the Berklee College of Music Criteria for Promotion and Reappointment document. And this is where it has all the details, and it's broken down by division of what you're going to want to include in your dossier. Now, the teaching section is attachment A for your division. Here I've listed the professional performance division attachment A, and you can see there are a lot of bullet points where it shows you what types of things you can address to prove that you meet the criteria. Now, one way to address this is what I call a color by numbers method. And for this method, you want to go through each of those bullet points and write a short paragraph about how you meet it. You don't have to necessarily address every single bullet point, but you want to address as many as you can make a strong case for yourself with. And if you do a short paragraph for each of those bullets, that's about 5 pages. So another method you can use is what I call the narrative method. And this is especially a good method if you're a strong writer. And this is more in paragraph form. And you're making sure you're ticking off all those bullet points, but you're doing it in the flow of a narration, of a story that you're telling about your teaching. You can also go through the courses that you teach and show how the bullet points are addressed in each course. I call this the course-by-course method. On this particular application, it starts off with more of a narrative form, and then it goes into specifics on each course. So you can see in this application, the applicant talks about a guitar performance skills lab and what skills were taught and how the teacher meets the criteria for the next rank. So that's another way of organizing your dossier. All right, the next section is called the service to the college, and that's a 3-pager. And the service to the college part of the promotion application is required for all full-time faculty, but it's optional for part-time faculty. Again, you want to go back to the criteria for promotion and reappointment document and dig into that. You want to look at attachment C for your division. Now here's attachment C for the performance division, and it shows a lot of different activities that you can address. The color by numbers method works just fine here. For this section, you probably won't be addressing every single bullet point, but you can go through the bullet points that you meet and briefly address how you do it. You can also use the narrative method here. Another method that some people like to do is what I call the laundry list method. And this is to go through all of the college service activities that you have done and put them in a list. Here's one application that does it that way. And here's another. The next section is called Service to the Profession, and this is a 3-pager. This section is required if you're applying for professor or associate professor, but not required if you're applying for assistant professor. And this goes for full-time and part-time. So again, service to the profession is if you're applying for professor or associate. Go back to your criteria for promotion and reappointment. Go to attachment D for your division. And these are some examples of activities that you may have done that are service to the profession. So you'll want to go through and see which of these speak to you and which of these you've addressed in your time in rank. Remember, service to the profession is not the same as professional development. Service to the profession are things that you've done to further the cause of the work that you do. Professional development is work that you do to improve your own skills and abilities and knowledge. So a couple of the techniques work well for the service to the profession section. You can do the color by numbers, you can do the narrative, you can do the laundry list. Now, the next section is called professional development, and this is more about how you've been bettering yourself. And this is a 3-pager. It gets a little tricky here because this is required if you're full-time applying for professor or assistant professor. Notice associate professor is left out of this. If you're part-time applying for professor or assistant professor, it's optional. Again, if you're applying for associate, that's covered a little bit later. But this particular section, this 3-page professional development section, is only required for these ranks, not associate. Go back to your criteria for promotion reappointment. Look at attachment E for your division. Here's attachment E for my division, professional development. And this gives you some examples of activities for professional development. Remember, not the same as service to the profession. We talked about that. There's service to the profession and there's professional development. Two different items. You can use the color by numbers, you can use the narrative, you can use the laundry list. Any way that you can show that you have ticked off some of the boxes under professional development. Now, there's a special requirement if you are applying to the rank of associate professor. It's called the Program of Professional Development, and there's a form, the Proposal Approval and Program Completion Documentation. So you have to have, in conjunction with your chair, a program of professional development. Usually the chairs like these programs to last about a year. So you want to make sure you begin your program of professional development 1 year before you apply for promotion. You want to talk to your chair a year before you're eligible to apply. And when you're deciding what type of professional development program, you can go again to the criteria for promotion reappointment, see attachment E for your division, and make sure you consult with your department chair. Under attachment E, there's some examples of department chair approved programs of professional development. So this is just to get your brain going and think about what you might want to do for a professional development program. After that, the next section is the supportive materials section, and you can put as many pages as you want into this. The supportive materials are any documents or references that support how you meet the criteria of the rank. And this is all in paper form. Faculty development says that they're going to have an online version of this at some point, but we haven't seen that yet. You'll want to go to the criteria for promotion reappointment, and that'll help you figure out what type of supportive materials you want to include. And you'll want to present them in a separate 3-ring binder from the first part. All the sections should be clearly indexed and labeled, and the sections are corresponding with the written part of the application that you did before. Only difference is the 5th section, Other, that's a place where you can include additional material, maybe a letter of recommendation from someone, something that doesn't really fit neatly into any of the other 4 categories. All right, so when is all this monstrosity due? It's due in the fall, October 15th. And then it takes a while to work its way through the system. They'll let you know if you were approved for the new rank in the spring, and your new rank and pay will take effect the next academic year, so in the following fall. So to get started, you're going to need a few documents from the Berklee Faculty Union website. There's the Faculty Promotion Process and Guidelines. There's the criteria for promotion and reappointment. And you'll also want to have a look at the Faculty Contract Agreement, Articles 9, 10, 20, and 35. You'll need a few documents from your department chair as well. If you're in a reappointment year, you'll need the self-evaluation for reappointment form. In a non-reappointment year, you'll need the performance review form. And remember, the special case, if you're applying for associate professor, you'll need the Program of Professional Development, Proposal, Approval, and Program Completion documentation. And you'll want to get going on that about a year before the whole thing is due. So that's it. Good luck. Hope you all get promoted and get big raises.